What's up, y'all? Polo Sports Talking Entertainment here again with another one. Hit the like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notification so that you're able to get all of my content and all of my videos. Before I get this video started, let me give a shout out to three of the LDBC brothers that have already spoke upon this. I first want to give a shout out to the brother Ticket TV or Pro Basketball Updates. If you haven't subbed to Ticket TV or Pro Basketball Updates, definitely go sub to his channel. Provides firsthand basketball content. Also is very knowledgeable about the game. Has also played the game at the highest level, and is one of the pillars in the LDBC. And he's responsible for a lot of what you see right now, a lot in regards to a lot of guys doing what they do in terms of their channels right now. And he was pretty much the innovative individual to do a lot of what you see now. Also, I want to give a shout out to the brother LB. If you haven't subbed to LB's channel, it's the political and sports channel of LB. Uh, he's also one of the brothers and pioneers in the LDBC community. Also has great content in terms of sports and especially politics. Um, Very knowledgeable, and he's a serviceman too, former serviceman too as well, and just great content altogether. And then also Too Raw for TV and Too Raw for Sports. If you haven't subbed to uh, Too Raw for TV or Too Raw for Sports, definitely go sub to his channel. Uh, he's a historian of the highest order, but also knows what's presently going on right now. Very knowledgeable of the game as well as other sports and other topics as well. And one of the generals in the LDBC community too as well. Okay, I want to give a big ups to all of those guys right there because they were able to talk about this subject first. True Viking, I see you in here. In here, first as always. Now, let's get right to it, okay? And I'm not going to harp on this too long. But I have to ask this question. Is the NBA promoting laziness and excuses? We have to ask that question because let's take it back to Anthony Davis, okay? Now, while Anthony Davis hasn't had the best track record in terms of him keeping himself in shape and being durable and in good condition and pre- being able to prevent, in order to prevent injuries from happening. Now, listen, there's sometimes that there's nothing that you could do about it. It's out of your control. But in terms of you constantly getting hurt and what you're doing in the off season to prevent you from being injured, okay, a lot of that has to do with what you're doing, your off the court habits and your workout habits or what you're doing, in the off season too. All right. And here you go. You got him every time he turns around, he's always hurt, or every time he turn around, he's hurting for this, or there's a different excuse to sit down. Okay, it's a different excuse to sit down. All right. Then, of course, you have James Harden. Okay, always, sitting out for whatever reason when there's a big game. He sat out, against Miami, sat out twice for whatever reason. Seems to be playing okay because when he came from Brooklyn, he was saying he was having some issues with his hamstring. But I find it very odd and very strange. You really suited up to go ahead and play, and you were playing against mediocre teams, right? But you had this excuse in Brooklyn, or I couldn't play because of this, or I couldn't play because of that. Well, really, it's you can't lead because of this, or you can't lead because of that. or pretty much you ducking the smoke because of this, or you ducking the smoke because of that, right? Then to put the icing on the cake, okay? Just here recently, you have a guy in Zion Williamson who has been, no doubt, unhappy with what's going on in New Orleans. But also, Zion has been saying how he's, he was complaining about his foot, and he's being reevaluated. He has been reevaluated and had to have other procedures done on his foot, right? So it must have been bad enough for him not to play, yet alone do what you see right here, dunking without his shirt, doing a difficult dunk, like by most people, regular people standards, who've never played the sport before, who've never even bounced a ball before, just a very degree of difficult dunk, which takes not only athleticism, but it requires you to have good springs as well. But wait a minute though, I thought you were hurt, right? You fell asleep in film session, so you're able to get a good rest while these guys are out here fighting. The Pelicans are out here fighting, right? You don't want to play. I've already said this earlier. You don't want to play, but you sure could take your shirt off, and you sure could, show off, your athleticism and everything. But you're not good enough to get out there and run up and down the floor at least for like 10 to 15 minutes in order to gain things back. And look, the Warriors. I know they lost, and I know Klay Thompson. People are sitting there criticizing him and even criticizing Draymond too. But those guys, without a doubt, they're not 100%. But guess what? They're at least out there, not making any excuses. They try to get out there and at least play the game, whether it was at a mediocre a mediocre outputting, or whether they played a phenomenal game. They were still out there. But you're younger than them, right? And on top of that, you're seen as the best guy, the franchise player, quote unquote. But you sitting up in here holding up and don't want to play. Listen, if I'm the New Orleans Pelicans, and I'm saying this is from an aspect of, if we have the means to do it, I'm getting rid of Zion. I'm getting rid of him. This right here is the slap in the face. And please don't come on here talking about, oh well, Polo, he's just showing to see how good he's doing and stuff like that. Well, you putting it on IG, you putting it on Twitter, and you putting it, all this other stuff, okay? But okay, I find it strange and odd that you can't put, your progression of how you're doing during the season on IG, or on Twitter and stuff like this. So my question is this: are you really hurt? That, which is a dumb question, because we know that you're not. Anybody that's having, multiple procedures done on their foot, or having to wait out, or having to sit out, Now, in a case like Lonzo Ball, I could believe Lonzo Ball, because Lonzo Ball, if y'all don't know, Lonzo Ball, they shut him down because he can't even, he's not able to run. Okay, that I believe. They shut him down completely, because Lonzo Ball has sprained his ankle before numerous times, and guess what? He's been able to bounce back. Been injured numerous of times, and he's been able to bounce back. All I'm saying is, I'm asking, is the NBA promoting laziness and excuses? Because it seems that's what they're doing. But they don't want to promote a John Morant who's been injured twice in this season and has been able to bounce back. They don't want to promote a guy like Giannis being able to hyperextend his knee. No structural damage, but still able to come back and play in the finals. Even as much trash as they talk about LeBron James, LeBron has sprained his ankle and has continued to play. Didn't make any excuses. He's having knee issues right now. Russell Westbrook having hip issues, which they're not telling the people. He's having hip and side issues right now and playing through it. And we can't say that Ben Simmons is lying because guess what? He's got epidural shots in his back and will not be able to play. Most likely not able to play. And I know about epidural because any of y'all that have wives or girlfriends, baby mamas and stuff like that, that's a shot that they use to relieve excruciating pain. But you're obviously not in that much pain for you to get up there and East Bay fake. Not East Bay funk, East Bay fake. This is destroying the credibility. This is destroying the integrity of the game. My last point. Guys used to take pride in playing hurt, playing injured. Listen, I've been on Baker Mayfield lately in terms of the NFL and everything. The one thing that I give Baker is that he had heart to go out there and play with a messed up shoulder that required surgery. He's still out there playing. Serge Ibaka having back issues, got traded. Guess what? He was out on the floor immediately. That's what the NBA is promoting. Laziness and excuses. Zion is lazy. Zion is lazy, and you got to give your credit to Luca. He said, "Look, hey, I need to get myself in shape." Luca has turned it around, although didn't have that great of a game, a couple nights ago. But guess what? He's turned it around. Jalen Brunson had an absolutely in some people's eye a devastating injury. Hey, he's still playing. We are promoting laziness and excuses. There's a lot of guys fighting to be in the position that you are. But guess what? You sitting up in here, a lot of people think that you're stealing money. If I'm the Pelicans, man, I'm getting rid of you, finding every way that I can to get rid of you. Because these guys are out there fighting. They're fighting without you. Brandon Ingram and the whole crew. Valanciunas and all those guys. They out there fighting for their season. And you sitting up in here East Bay funkin', man, get your ass out on the floor and play. Polo Sports Talking Entertainment. I'll get at you later.